So in this video, let's talk about collection. So what exactly is collection? So collection is putting stuff together, so like a group. So every time you have a configuration manager, so like I'm here to, for example, the devices that we saw, we have, devices. We can put all the devices together in a collection. So create a group of devices, not Active Directory group, but basically is the configuration manager group. It's not just for devices, but we also can have it exactly the same for users or user groups. So, and you can use any data related to the object we are looking at. So for example, let's get this workstation one. Is an object of computer type or device type in configuration manager. If I, I change there. If I right click, go to properties, any information that's here can be used to create a group. Also, any information that we collect from the client on the Resource Explorer can also be used. So client events, hard drive partitions, and so on. So there are a lot of information we can use to create the collections. How we are going to create, it depends on you, depends on what your needs are. So in your example here, we are going to create a Windows 10 collection. So to create a Windows 10 collection, so first is device. So we come here on device collection. As you can notice, there are already 4 collections that are already created for us. This is down to configuration manager. On the user collections, we already have 3. So these also come by default. We're going to create a collection, so let's click here on device collection. Right click, create a device collection, or you can have here on the create a device collection. So let's click there. So first thing, we need to give a name. So I'm going to give a name as Windows 10 workstations. And who is going to be the limiting collection? So imagine that you have, for example, someone that wants to have a group. I want to see every single Windows 10 workstations. You need to limit the amount of data that we're going to query by another collection. And by default, we have some of those collections. So all system basically is every single computer on the environment. All desktop and servers is just desktop or servers that have the configuration manager client installed. All mobile devices, all unknown computers. So now imagine that I only want Windows 10 workstation. So I could, for example, limit it by all systems. Then later on, I want to see every single Windows 10 that has a specific software installed. So I don't need to limit it by the all systems anymore. I then can limit it by the Windows 10 workstations. Because now we are limiting the amount of data we need to query. And then any update on the collection, any change on the collection will be a bit faster. So in your case here, we're going to limit by the all system. So in a production environment, you're going to create some what I call top level collections, and you're not going to, and those are going to be limited by the all systems, and any other collection will not be limited by the all system anymore. For example, you're going to have a collection called all servers or all workstations. Now those may be limited by the all systems, but then anything else that's going to be for servers, you're going to limit it by the all servers. A Windows 10 collection will be limited by the all workstations, and so on and so forth. So right now then is a Windows 10 collection and for the all systems. So let's click next. And here the membership rules. So basically what it means. How we are going to add objects to this collection. So there are a couple of ways. So first is directory role. It basically means I'm adding this resource to this collection, and this resource will always be there. The second is a query. So based on, so we could call a dynamic as well. So based on some validations, I can add or remove a computer from this collection. Then I can have include or exclude collections. Basically, let's imagine I want to include on let's imagine a scenario. So I have a Windows 10 collection, Windows 8 collection, and Windows 7 collection. Okay, so I'm creating a new collection. Let's say all Windows 10 or Windows 8 collection. So I could create a query, but I could add the Windows 10 or the Windows 8. Maybe you want every single computer that's not Windows 7, so include servers, for example. Then you could exclude the collection because I already have one created. In our case, we are going to create a rule. So here's the name of the rule we are going to create. So there's going to be Windows 10, and here I'm going to edit my query. And here, when on the query statement properties, click criteria, and now we are going to create some criteria to actually filter the information. As soon as you click here, I'm using a simple value, and I'm going to click select. So here now, almost every single data in the configuration manager is available for me. Okay, so in my case here, I'm going to use the system resource, and the attribute that I'm looking is the operation system name and version. If I change this for something else, let's say tape drive, the attribute will change. So there are a lot of informations we can actually use when we want to create our queries. And because I'm using a simple value, I will need to add a value here. Which value? So I want to look at all Windows 10 machines. The options are, has to be a specific value. So let's say Windows 10.0, or what I'm going to use is like, so anything that will be with Microsoft Windows 10. But how do I know this, what I have in my environment? I can click on values, and Microsoft will try to show me some information about my environment. So I want to show you here two things. So I have the Microsoft Windows NT Workstation 10.0 and 10.0 Tablet Edition. If I use is equal and use just Microsoft Windows NT Workstation 10.0 as the value, what's going to happen? Any computer that has the Tablet Edition will not appear. If I use the equal or is like, if I put a percentage at the end, will be anything that starts with Microsoft Windows NT Workstation 10.0. And in this case, I will leave as is like and Microsoft Windows NT Workstation 10.0 percentage. You don't need to actually use the value, you can actually type. And not in large environments, if you use the value, no, maybe you're not going to see everything. So let's click OK, and OK again, and another time. So I have now my query. So what Configuration Manager will do? Every 7 days, here on the bottom, Configuration Manager will perform a full update of this collection. Imagine that we'll delete everything and perform the query again. Or we can use the incremental update. So every 5 minutes, Configuration Manager will check if there are changes, and if there are changes, we'll add or remove objects. Just bear in mind, if you use the incremental updates, the recommendation is don't use more than 200, 250 collections with incremental updates. So imagine that every number of minutes by default is 5, you're going to update the collection. So if you have a massive number of collections, then you may take longer than 5 minutes, so you may have then your collection updates will never actually finish. So we will talk a bit more about this later on. So we have now our Windows 10 rule. It's going to be auto increment and perform a full update every 7 days. Let's click next. And that is a summary. So click next. And now configuration manager is adding the request to the queue. So the collection has been created. You can see here there is a hourglass that the collection is being updated. So we can see here member counts is 0. Okay, I will refresh. And now we have our member counts equals 2. So basically mean there are 2 computers on our environment that is Windows 10 computers. Out of some computers we have in total 5 computers plus 2 unknown computers. Let me just show you here. Out of those 7 computers, I have only workstation 1 and workstation 2 that actually Windows 10. Workstation 4 is Windows 8.1. So now let's see exactly what the query did for us. So I right click Windows 10 workstation and show members. And now we can see that filter is only for workstation 1 and 2 that actually are Windows 10 computers. Okay, it's really simple to do this. And now let's create a new collection. So let's create a Windows 8.1 collection. And again, go to device collection, right click, create collection. I create a Windows 8 workstations. Again, I will filter by another collection. In our case here we're looking at all systems. And I will create a query rule, also Windows 8. And my statement will be the filter for system resources, operation system, Windows 8.1 then, instead of the Windows 10 that we did. So system resource, operation system name and version. And if I click values here, we are only looking at 6.3. I will select the tablet edition, click OK, but I will delete at the end and put percentage. And I will remember to change the operations to is like. So if I add another Microsoft Windows NT Workstation 6.3 that is not identified as tablet, then will be part of this collection as well. And some clicks on the OK. And again, because this is a lab, I also selecting the use incremental updates. But you're going to validate what is required on your environment. Do I need to have incremental updates or maybe just a full scheduling every day at night, for example? So try to save performance on the server. And finish. So here, soon, it will change this all system to 1. So I've been using this refresh here that refreshes the whole list. But you don't need to do that. You can do here on the collections a refresh. That's going to be refresh only that collection. And in this case here we can see member counts 1. If I show member is our workstation 4. Okay, so quite simple to create a collection, and it's really powerful to create collections. And we've been creating device collections. The option to create a user collection is really similar. So now let's go to user collection and create a new user collection. Oh, sorry, let me create another device collection. And in this case, let's call workstation OU. So I want to show I want to see every single computer in a specific Active Directory OU, for example. I will limit by all systems. And here on my rule, again, another query rule. I will add a name as workstation OU. And edit query statement. And my criteria, again, I'm going to use the system resource. But in this case, I'm going to use the OU, system OU name. System OU name. If I click here, value, you can see here there are a lot of OUs. So I'm going to select the workstations OU. As you can see here, I have one that's enabled. So what I'm going to put here at the end will be, again, percentage. So any sub OU in this case, and it's like. And because it's a lab, I will also select the incremental updates and click next, next, and finish. So now we have our workstation OU. Let me refresh. May take some seconds, depends on the environment. Now we have 3 because all my Windows 10 and Windows 8 objects are in the same location. So same Active Directory OU. And similar to this, we can do the users. So let me just close here. So for user is exactly the same. The objects may be a bit different. So the options we can select on the object, classes and attributes, but the concept is still the same. In this case, instead of create device collection, we are going to create a user collection. And I'm going to use users OU. So every single user on my environment, and I will limit by the all users collections. All users and groups, in my case here, that has everything. Next, and I will create again a query rule, like we have been doing. So it's going to be users OU. And here I can use resource, user resource, or user group resource. In my case, I will leave as user resource. And my criteria will be, so as you can see here, I have less classes that I can select. So I will select user resource, and the attribute is going to be user OU name, almost at the bottom. And the value will be now the user's location. I will not need to put a percentage because I don't have a underneath OU. So as you can see here from the values, it's only users. Okay, in this case, then I can leave is equal. And click OK. OK a few times. Again, this is a lab, so I can use incremental updates. I'm not even moving stuff on Active Directory, so I will not even need it to use this option, but I will leave as a lab. I will click next a couple of times and close. So now I have my users OU. So any user that is on that specific OU will be populated here. It should not, it depends on the environment, it may take like 30 seconds on more lab here, sometimes more, depends on the lab, on the environment. It may be, if I recall properly, we have 2 users, user 1 and user 2. So, yep, we have down here, if I show members, we have down user 1 and user 2. So now we can, for example, deploy applications or deploy whatever we may want to deploy to a user. And we are doing a collection membership update, incremental update. So as I said, it takes about 5 minutes. But where to change, if I want it to be faster, that I don't recommend, or slower, let's say every 15 minutes. So this is going to administration. Let's go to site configuration and sites. So it's going to select the site you want to perform this change. So configure site components, collection membership evaluation. And here we have the default 5 minutes. In your case here, I will decrease to 3. I don't recommend in a lab environment, in a production environment. In production environment, normally we are going to increase this. If I recall properly, the maximum you can do is 60 minutes. I actually don't recall. No, you can do actually even more than 60 minutes. So I will leave here on the lab is 3 minutes and click OK. So now what's going to happen? Every 3 minutes, let me just go back here to the assets in compliance, and let's, as example, device collection. So every 3 minutes, any collection with the incremental updates will be updated. So now let's imagine the process here with the all systems. So all systems have the incremental update selected. So every 3 minutes, for example, incremental updates will check if there is any change on all systems. If there are changes on the all systems, it will then ask for every single one of those collections that's limited by the all system to be updated. And if there is any update, we'll pass on for any child collection. So if you have only, let's say, configuration manager, you have everything limited by the all systems, example here, 3 minutes, every single collection will be updated. Now I add a new server. I don't need to update my Windows 10 workstations or my workstations collections. So this is where I said to you, create a top level one that will be servers or workstations. And what's going to happen in this example? I have my top level all systems. I added a new server, it gets updated. We will ask for your all workstations or all servers to be updated. All workstations, there is no update because you add a new server. So any collection child of the all workstation will not be updated. And on the other side, you're going to then every single collection dependent by all servers will start to be updated. So this will also help you to maintain a good performance of your configuration manager server. So I hope you like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.